Don't worry, everything will be all right. And I must say that with my long experience working in the international organizations and being CEO of several organizations, I have learned, and that is my motto, don't worry, everything will be all right. And when I started Rainbow 8 years ago, I always, had this dream of starting my own business. But I used to feel afraid. I'm not a business-minded person. I'm a professional. But anyway, I felt that, I was motivated. And this little voice kept saying, don't worry, everything will be all right. And I'm so happy that that motto, my belief that don't worry, everything will be all right, has kept me going. But when I was young, I didn't think like that. I used to always think when I was in school, I was very nerdy, I used to be a bookworm, I loved to write, but I couldn't speak. I used to think I can't speak out in public. But there was an experience in school that made me realize, no, I have to get on. So when I was 16 years old, and I took on leadership role, and from that day, it has been a journey. So I'm sure today some of you would have thought, we can't speak in public, we don't need to speak in public, we can do our thing, we are good in our professions. But friends, as you have come here, today you proved this morning that every single one of you, you can. There is nothing saying we can't. And life is so short. In one of our public speaking classes, we have these classes for companies, corporate training, and at the Rainbow Institute. Once I asked a young girl, she was just 16 years old, I asked her to come up and recite a funeral oration. It is at the death. So this girl, she's very smart. She came and recited, she gave a public speech pretending that her best friend, who was 16 years old, her school friend had died. And she gave a really beautiful speech. But what really mattered to me was this girl, she writes poetry. So she had at that time when I told her to prepare, she had written a little poem about this dead friend. And she had written the poem which said, in every person's life, there is a date of birth. There is also, we will all have a date of death. Now we can't prevent that. But what really matters is not the day we are born or the day we are dead. Between the date of birth and the date of death, there is a dash. And what really matters is what is the impact we will have in this world when that date of death comes, what we did with that dash. We can be engineers, myself, I'm a communication specialist, I started a company, all that wouldn't matter. What really matters is the change that we can make to make this world a better place for others. So, as human beings, we can either be in our quiet corner or we can be a source of light and encouragement to others using the best talents and abilities that we have blessed with. Each one of us in this room is unique. And I want you to reflect in your own mind. With your unique talents, your skills, all the good things you have, what can you do as an individual that will help between your birth and your death to make that dash meaningful and impactful? And how you can communicate to others in your workplace, in your community, in your school, to help to make this world a better place. Please reflect and think and act on it. Okay, so what we are going to discuss today, some tools and techniques about public speaking. We are going to discuss some myths about public speaking, and then we are going to discuss some little tips on how to overcome that fear of public speaking so that you become confident, not only confident, you enjoy public speaking. We are also going to talk about the 3 P's of public speaking. That is prepare, practice, and how we present. We are also going to look at some of the goals of public speaking, how to inform, to inspire, to motivate, and finally, to act. Because public speaking is not just talking big, high-sounding words and sending people to sleep, but we are going to see how we can maximize the skill of public speaking. Okay. Now some of the false ideas that people have is sometimes people think that great speakers have inborn talent or born, they say with a silver tongue, they say a silver tongued orator. They think this is something that you're born with. Honestly, it's not something you're born with. There are some people from small days who are very good at public speaking. Now even in school, there are some children from grade 1 who are very forward and good in public speaking. But most of us are not born with that talent. It is something that you can easily develop yourself. People like Sir Winston Churchill, Steve Jobs, Warren Buffett, actually they were all very poor public speakers at the start. But they developed the skill and became very inspirational. Another fallacy or a myth about public speaking is that you, when you're making a presentation, that you have to use PowerPoint. This is totally wrong. Now this morning you all came and spoke without PowerPoint. PowerPoint is very useful, and as you see I am using PowerPoint. But PowerPoint is only like little bullets to help you to, because when we speak, sometimes it's also good to have a visual impact. Communication needs a multi-pronged approach. So without just speaking to the ear, it is also good to have a PowerPoint just to keep people's eyes also active. Now PowerPoint, we should never, remember, if you are using PowerPoint for a presentation, never ever read everything that is on the script, because your audience, they are intelligent people. Why should I read everything on my PowerPoint to my audience? Because the audience can read for themselves. So I just use this as a guideline and I just pick on some points and I will tell them. Also never use tiny font. Sometimes people fill it, the whole screen with tiny points. You know, the point, the letters. You just use pictures, use bullet points, just some big letters to make it impactful for your presentations. Some people say, I hate public speaking. I used to say that when I was young and I thought I could never speak out in public. But do you like to talk to people? Are you a people's person? Do you like helping others? I'm sure everybody enjoys helping others. Do you like to explain and make things clear? If you are a person like that, at least you like to help others, you can speak in public, because public speaking is just talking to people. Nobody in the audience is going to laugh at you. Nobody in the audience is going to, of course sometimes it happens, to throw a rotten egg on you. I have seen that happening to my husband when he was campaigning for the rights of university teachers. One day when he was speaking from the top of a lorry, somewhere in Ambalangoda with a small speaker, people started hurling rocks at him. But that, I don't think that will happen in a hurry to most of us. But he did not get discouraged. He just went on speaking louder and he shouted and cursed the people who were hurling rocks onto the top of the lorry from where he was speaking. So really, this is not rocket science. If you can talk to people face to face, if you can talk to your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your colleague, public speaking is just talking to more than one person. Okay, now I told you that Warren Buffett was somebody who was extremely fearful of public speaking. So let me show you a little confession, tiny video where he talks about this.